Have you ever felt like there's something more to life than what meets the eye? Like an invisible force is nudging you toward deeper truths, higher perspectives, and a profound sense of inner peace? That's the call of spiritual awakening, an experience so transformative and life-altering that it can feel both awe-inspiring and overwhelming. In this video, we're diving into what no one has ever told you about spiritual awakening. Beyond the cliches, the myths, and the Instagram quotes lies a raw, beautiful, and often untold story of personal evolution. Join me as we uncover the truth about spiritual awakening and explore the surprising lessons that can change your life forever. Before the light of awakening begins to illuminate your path, there is often a period of profound discomfort and uncertainty. This phase, though difficult, is an integral part of the journey, and it's something most people don't talk about. It's easy to romanticize the idea of spiritual awakening as a sudden epiphany or a wave of enlightenment that instantly transforms your life. However, before this transformation takes place, many experience what can only be described as chaos. This chaos manifests differently for everyone. For some, it may feel like a persistent sense of dissatisfaction with life, a nagging feeling that something is missing, even when everything appears fine on the surface. For others, it might come as a more intense experience: the loss of a job, the end of a significant relationship, a health crisis, or a period of deep depression or anxiety. These moments of upheaval often serve as a wake-up call, forcing us to question the very foundation of our lives. What's important to understand is that this turmoil isn't random or purposeless. It's as if your soul is shaking things up, making room for something greater to emerge. When the structures of your life begin to crumble, it can feel terrifying. You may cling to the familiar, trying desperately to maintain the status quo, but the more you resist, the harder the process becomes. This is the paradox of awakening. It often begins with a breakdown, not a breakthrough. In these moments, it's natural to feel lost, confused, or even hopeless. You might ask yourself, why is this happening to me? Or, what's the point of all this pain? These questions, though painful, are actually the seeds of awakening. They force you to dig deeper, to look beyond the surface, and to seek answers that go beyond what the world has taught you. The chaos is a catalyst, breaking you open so that new light can pour in. It's also during this phase that you may begin to notice subtle shifts in your perception. Perhaps you start questioning things you once took for granted: the meaning of success, the nature of reality, or the purpose of your existence. These questions may feel unsettling at first, but they are signs that your soul is beginning to stir. The old ways of thinking and being no longer fit, and while this can feel disorienting, it's a necessary step in the journey. This period of chaos is often accompanied by physical and emotional symptoms. You might feel exhausted, as though your body is processing something you can't quite understand. You might experience heightened emotions, from unexplained sadness to moments of intense joy. This is your inner world recalibrating itself, preparing you for the transformation ahead. The key to navigating this phase is surrender. Instead of fighting the changes or trying to control the outcome, allow yourself to feel everything fully. Let go of the need to have all the answers and trust that this period of chaos is leading you somewhere meaningful. Remember, the darkest nights produce the brightest stars. Your awakening is already in motion. It's simply unfolding in ways you may not yet recognize. Spiritual awakening is often portrayed as a blissful experience, one filled with peace, joy, and a sense of oneness with the universe. While these moments of bliss are indeed a part of the journey, they are far from the whole story. What most people don't realize is that awakening is a deeply challenging process, one that requires you to face uncomfortable truths and navigate emotional terrain you might rather avoid. One of the biggest misconceptions about spiritual awakening is that it's a constant state of enlightenment. The truth is far more complex. Awakening is not a single event, but an ongoing process, and it comes with its fair share of struggles. In fact, some of the most profound growth happens during the difficult moments, the times when you're forced to confront your shadow, your fears, and the parts of yourself you'd rather keep hidden. The challenges of awakening often begin with a sense of disorientation. As you start to see the world through new eyes, the old ways of thinking and being no longer make sense. You may feel like you're living in two worlds, one foot in the familiar, practical reality, and the other in a vast, mysterious unknown. This duality can be unsettling, leaving you wondering where you truly belong. Another common experience during awakening is emotional turbulence. As you peel back the layers of your conditioning, suppressed emotions often rise to the surface. You might find yourself crying for no apparent reason, feeling sudden bursts of anger, or experiencing waves of anxiety. These emotions aren't random. They are a release of the energy you've been carrying, sometimes for years. Allowing yourself to feel and process these emotions is an essential part of the journey. It's also worth noting that awakening can be physically demanding. Many people report symptoms such as fatigue, headaches, or changes in sleep patterns. These physical experiences are often a reflection of the profound shifts happening within you. Your body is adjusting to a new vibration, one that aligns with the higher frequencies of awakening. One of the most challenging aspects of this process is the confrontation with the ego. The ego, which is the part of you that identifies with your thoughts, roles, and achievements, often resists the changes that come with awakening. It may try to cling to old patterns or convince you that you're not ready for this transformation. This inner conflict can create a sense of inner chaos, but it's also a sign that you're breaking free from the limitations of the ego. Through all of this, it's important to remember that the discomfort of awakening is temporary. The challenges you face are not obstacles. They are opportunities for growth. Each moment of discomfort is a chance to shed old layers and step into a more authentic version of yourself. Awakening is not about escaping pain. It's about transforming it. It's about finding the courage to face your inner demons and discovering the light that lies beyond them. As difficult as this phase can be, it's also incredibly rewarding. The moments of struggle are balanced by moments of profound clarity and connection. You may find yourself experiencing synchronicities, moments of deep insight, or an overwhelming sense of love and gratitude. These glimpses of the divine remind you why you're on this path and give you the strength to keep going. Awakening is not a path for the faint of heart, but it's one of the most meaningful journeys you can undertake. It's an invitation to live fully, to embrace all aspects of yourself, and to reconnect with the truth of who you are. And while the road may be challenging, it's also filled with beauty, wonder, and the promise of transformation. One of the most surprising and challenging aspects of spiritual awakening is the profound sense of loneliness that often accompanies it. This loneliness is not simply a matter of being physically alone. It runs much deeper than that. It's the kind of solitude that comes from feeling disconnected from the world you once knew and the people who were once a significant part of your life. It's a kind of existential loneliness, a sense of standing at the edge of a vast unknown while the rest of the world seems to continue as if nothing has changed. As you awaken, your perspective shifts. You begin to see life differently, noticing patterns, energies, and truths that others may not yet be aware of. This newfound awareness can create a feeling of separation from the people around you, especially if they don't share your perspective or understand the changes you're experiencing. Conversations that once felt engaging may now feel shallow or meaningless. Activities you once enjoyed might no longer resonate with you. Even relationships that were once a source of comfort and connection can begin to feel strained. This sense of disconnection can be deeply unsettling. You may feel like you're losing touch with the world you once knew, and with it, a part of your identity. Old friendships may fade as your interests and values shift, and you may find yourself spending more time alone, either by choice or by circumstance. This isolation can feel like a heavy weight, leaving you wondering if something is wrong with you or if you'll ever find a sense of belonging again. What's important to understand is that this loneliness is not a punishment or a sign of failure. It's a natural part of the awakening process. As you grow and evolve, you're shedding layers of old conditioning and stepping into a more authentic version of yourself. This process often requires you to let go of relationships, habits, and environments that no longer align with who you're becoming. While this letting go can be painful, it's also necessary to make space for new connections and experiences that resonate with your true self. During this time, it's common to long for deeper, more meaningful connections. You may find yourself seeking out people who share your values and understand your journey. This longing for connection is a sign that your soul is guiding you toward relationships that nourish and support your growth. However, these connections may not appear immediately, and the waiting can feel excruciating. It's during this period of solitude that you have an opportunity to deepen your relationship with yourself. Solitude, while challenging, can be incredibly transformative. It gives you the space to reflect, to explore your inner world, and to reconnect with your true essence. In the quiet of your own company, you can begin to hear the whispers of your soul, guiding you toward your highest path. This period of self-discovery can be a powerful time of healing and growth as you learn to find comfort and strength within yourself. Another important aspect of this loneliness is the sense of being misunderstood. As you awaken to deeper truths, you may feel like an outsider in a world that doesn't yet see what you see. You might find it difficult to share your experiences with others, fearing judgment or rejection. This can create a sense of isolation, as if you're carrying a secret that no one else can understand. It's important to remember that you're not alone in this experience. Many who undergo spiritual awakening feel this same sense of disconnection, and knowing that others share your journey can provide comfort and reassurance. The loneliness of awakening can also serve as a mirror, reflecting back to you the parts of yourself that need attention and healing. It's during these moments of solitude that you're confronted with your fears, insecurities, and unhealed wounds. While it can be uncomfortable to face these aspects of yourself, it's also an opportunity for profound transformation. By leaning into the discomfort and embracing your shadow, you can release the pain that's been holding you back and step into a greater sense of wholeness. Over time, the loneliness of awakening begins to shift. As you become more comfortable with yourself and more aligned with your true essence, you start to attract people and experiences that resonate with your energy. New relationships may form, built on a foundation of authenticity and mutual understanding. These connections can feel like a breath of fresh air, reminding you that you're never truly alone. The universe has a way of bringing people into your life at the right time, often when you least expect it. It's also worth noting that the feeling of loneliness doesn't entirely disappear, even as you grow and evolve. There will always be moments when you feel like you're walking a path that few others can understand. However, these moments of solitude become less about isolation and more about connection with yourself, with the universe, and with the deeper truths that guide your journey. Ultimately, the loneliness of spiritual awakening is a paradox. It's a feeling of being separate, yet it's also an invitation to experience a deeper sense of unity. It's through this solitude that you come to realize that you are never truly alone. You are connected to everything and everyone in ways that go beyond what the mind can comprehend. This realization brings with it a sense of peace, a knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be, and that every step of your journey is unfolding in perfect harmony. One of the most profound and transformative aspects of spiritual awakening is the experience of the ego's unraveling. This process, often referred to as the death of the ego, is not about literally erasing your sense of self, but rather about letting go of the false identities and attachments you've built over time. It is a process of releasing the roles, labels, and conditioned beliefs that have defined you in order to uncover the essence of who you truly are. This journey is both liberating and deeply challenging, as it involves confronting aspects of yourself that you may have spent a lifetime avoiding. The ego is the part of your mind that identifies with external things: your job, your possessions, your relationships, your achievements, and even your failures. It's the voice that says, "I am a doctor," or "I am successful," or conversely, "I am not good enough." While the ego serves a purpose in helping us navigate the material world, it often becomes overactive, creating a false sense of self that is based on fear, comparison, and separation. This false self clings to external validation and resists change, making the process of awakening feel like a battle between who you've been and who you're becoming. The first step in the death of the ego is awareness. As you begin to awaken, you start to notice the ways in which your ego has shaped your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. You may realize that many of your decisions have been driven by the need to impress others, to avoid failure, or to conform to societal expectations. This realization can be uncomfortable, as it forces you to confront the ways in which you've been living out of alignment with your true self. It's like peeling back layers of an onion, each layer revealing another level of illusion that you've been holding on to. As the ego begins to loosen its grip, you may experience a sense of loss or confusion. The roles and identities that once defined you no longer feel meaningful, and you may find yourself questioning everything you thought you knew about yourself. Who are you if you're not your job, your relationships, or your achievements? This question can feel terrifying, as it plunges you into the unknown. However, it's also an invitation to discover the deeper, eternal self that exists beyond the ego. One of the most challenging aspects of this process is the ego's resistance. The ego thrives on control and certainty, and it perceives the process of awakening as a threat to its existence. As a result, it may fight back in subtle and not so subtle ways. You might find yourself clinging to old habits, seeking reassurance from others, or falling into patterns of self-doubt. The ego may create distractions, convincing you to focus on external problems rather than facing the internal transformation that's occurring. It's important to approach this process with compassion and patience. The ego is not your enemy. It's a part of you that has been trying to protect you, albeit in misguided ways. Rather than trying to kill the ego, the goal is to integrate it, to acknowledge its presence, understand its fears, and gently guide it toward alignment with your higher self. This integration allows you to move beyond the limitations of the ego without rejecting or suppressing it. The death of the ego also involves confronting your shadow, the parts of yourself that you've repressed or denied because they didn't fit the image of who you thought you were supposed to be. These might include feelings of anger, jealousy, fear, or inadequacy. Facing these aspects of yourself can be uncomfortable, but it's also incredibly healing. By bringing your shadow into the light, you reclaim the energy that has been tied up in maintaining the illusion of the ego. This process allows you to embrace your wholeness, imperfections, and all. As the ego continues to dissolve, you may experience moments of profound clarity and freedom. These moments often come unexpectedly, like a sudden realization that you are not your thoughts, or a deep sense of connection with the universe. These glimpses of your true self can feel like a homecoming, a remembrance of something you've always known but forgotten. They remind you that you are not defined by your past, your circumstances, or the roles you play in the world. However, the death of the ego is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process, one that unfolds in layers over time. Just when you think you've reached a new level of understanding, another layer of the ego may emerge, bringing with it new challenges and lessons. This cyclical nature of awakening can feel frustrating at times, but it's also a reminder that growth is not linear. Each cycle brings you closer to the truth of who you are. One of the most beautiful aspects of this journey is the freedom that comes with it. As you let go of the need to define yourself by external standards, you begin to experience life in a more authentic and spontaneous way. You become less concerned with what others think of you and more focused on what feels true to your soul. This freedom allows you to explore your passions, express your creativity, and connect with others on a deeper level. The death of the ego also opens the door to unconditional love, both for yourself and for others. Without the ego's need to judge, compare, or control, you can see yourself and others more clearly. You begin to recognize the shared humanity in everyone, and this recognition fosters compassion, empathy, and connection. The barriers that once separated you from others begin to dissolve, revealing the unity that has always been there. Ultimately, the death of the ego is not about becoming someone new. It's about returning to the truth of who you've always been. It's a process of shedding the layers of illusion and rediscovering the essence of your being. While this journey can be challenging, it's also one of the most rewarding experiences you can have. It's an invitation to live fully, to embrace your authenticity, and to connect with the infinite wisdom and love that resides within you. As spiritual awakening unfolds, there comes a point where the journey shifts from discovery to integration. Awakening is not about reaching a destination. It is a lifelong process of living in alignment with your true self. Many believe that spiritual awakening culminates in a single moment of enlightenment, after which life becomes effortless and free of challenges. The truth, however, is that awakening is an ongoing dance between growth and presence, between the extraordinary insights you've gained and the practicalities of daily life. Living as your true self means embodying the lessons you've learned through awakening. It's one thing to experience moments of clarity, where you feel connected to the vastness of existence and the divinity within you. It's another thing entirely to bring that awareness into your relationships, your work, and your daily routines. Integration is the bridge between the two, and it is perhaps the most important yet overlooked part of the awakening process. One of the first challenges of living as your true self is navigating the balance between the spiritual and the material worlds. Awakening often brings a heightened sense of connection to the spiritual realm, but you still exist in the physical world, with responsibilities, relationships, and challenges that require your attention. The key is not to escape the physical world, but to infuse it with the wisdom and presence you've gained. This means approaching everyday tasks, whether it's doing the dishes, responding to emails, or having a conversation, with mindfulness and intention. Every moment becomes an opportunity to express your authentic self. Living authentically also requires letting go of perfectionism. Many people on the path of awakening feel pressure to embody some idealized version of spirituality, to always be calm, compassionate, and wise. This expectation is unrealistic and counterproductive. Awakening is not about denying your humanity. It's about embracing it fully. This includes acknowledging your imperfections, your emotions, and your moments of doubt. Paradoxically, it is in accepting these aspects of yourself that you find true freedom. Living as your true self means being real, not perfect. Another crucial aspect of integration is learning to trust yourself. Awakening often involves dismantling external systems of belief and authority, leaving you to navigate life based on your own inner guidance. This can feel disorienting at first, as you may doubt your ability to make decisions or fear making mistakes. However, each time you trust your intuition and act in alignment with your truth, you strengthen your connection to your inner wisdom. Over time, you begin to realize that the answers you seek are already within you, waiting to be heard. Relationships also take on a new dimension as you step into your true self. You may find that some relationships naturally fall away, while others deepen in unexpected ways. Living authentically means showing up as your whole self in your interactions, which can be both liberating and challenging. It requires vulnerability, the willingness to express your truth even when it feels uncomfortable, and the courage to set boundaries when needed. While this may lead to temporary conflict or discomfort, it ultimately creates space for deeper, more meaningful connections. At the same time, you may find yourself drawn to new relationships with people who resonate with your energy and values. These connections often feel effortless, as if you've known each other forever. They remind you that you are not alone on this journey, and that there are others who understand and support your growth. Community becomes a vital part of living as your true self, providing both inspiration and grounding as you navigate the ups and downs of life. Living authentically also involves finding your purpose. For some, this means making a dramatic career change or dedicating their life to a specific cause. For others, purpose is found in the small, everyday acts of kindness, creativity, and presence. There is no single formula for living a purposeful life. It is as unique as each individual. The key is to listen to your heart and follow what brings you joy and fulfillment, even if it doesn't align with society's expectations. Another aspect of living as your true self is embracing the cyclical nature of growth. Awakening is not a linear process. It's a spiral, with each turn bringing you back to familiar themes and lessons at a deeper level. Just when you think you've mastered a particular challenge, life may present it to you again, asking you to apply your newfound wisdom in new ways. This can feel frustrating, but it's also a reminder that growth is ongoing and that each step forward builds on the foundation of your previous experiences. Perhaps the most profound realization that comes with living as your true self is the understanding that you are both human and divine. Awakening is not about transcending the human experience. It's about embracing it fully, knowing that the divine is present in every moment, every breath, and every interaction. This realization allows you to move through life with a sense of wonder and gratitude, even in the face of challenges. Living as your true self also means cultivating practices that support your growth and alignment. These practices might include meditation, journaling, spending time in nature, or engaging in creative expression. Whatever form they take, these practices serve as anchors, helping you stay connected to your inner truth and navigate the complexities of life with greater ease. Ultimately, living as your true self is about being present. It's about showing up for life, not as the person you think you should be, but as the person you truly are. It's about honoring your journey, embracing the unknown, and trusting that each moment is part of a greater unfolding. Awakening is not an endpoint. It's a way of being, a continuous process of growth, exploration, and self-discovery. As you integrate the lessons of awakening into your daily life, you begin to see that every experience, no matter how ordinary or challenging, is an opportunity to express your true essence. You realize that the journey itself is the destination, and that living authentically is not about achieving something, but about becoming more of who you already are. This is the true gift of awakening, the freedom to live fully, to love deeply, and to be unapologetically yourself.